Hey you guys, it's Nikki here. Good morning. Outside drinking a nice hot apple cider. And this is our official last day, and I just want to come out and reflect on how everything went. For the catering job and also just a birthday vacation for myself here. We were here for about 6 days, I believe. Yeah, so catering job, it went not as great as I wanted it to go. There's a lot to it. So I did the catering job. It was for the first half, and then we parted ways. I think what happened is, I won't say names, I won't do none of that because I don't like to gossip about people. I mean, if I have to, I will. I've saved all of my stuff, so that way, that's something I tell you. If you're going to cater for a film, especially student films, save everything, 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 forever if you can. And also do contract. So, anyways, but that's the reason I say do contract with student films. Contract with all films, but most of the films, when you work on bigger films, you're on the payroll and they give you cash every day to buy the food. So, anyways, so the first day was fine. We did box lunches. I always do box lunches the first day so I can get a feel of the set, etc., etc. And then also it's just easier to do box lunches on set, but you can just carry the box off. And then for dinner we did, we were serving at the guest house, so I was able to cook traditionally dinner type foods. The first day, so for lunch I served them turkey Caesar wraps, vegetable wraps, apples, cookies, chips, and then there were extra sandwiches and cookies chips they can pick up and get. So it was a full round lunch. And then for dinner that night we had teriyaki chicken, sweet potatoes, salad, cobblers, and something else. So a full round dinner. The second day at lunch we did grilled homemade turkey burgers, grilled homemade black bean burgers, chips, what else did we do? My memory is so bad from when I was in the hospital, I had the brain damage. So forgive me. And two other things we did. So it was a full lunch. Every time I served them about a lot of things. Anyways, about 5 things. And then for dinner that second day, we did chili, regular chili, regular homemade beef chili. Turkey chili, regular homemade vegetable chili, cornbread, salad, fruit. There was fruit, and then there was 2 cobblers, a strawberry cobbler and the strawberry and peach cobbler were on the first night. It was brownies. I made brownies. That's what it was. It was a cucumber. Remember I said back on the lunch I couldn't remember. It was a cucumber and tomato, Italian, like homemade olive oil, vinegar, salt, sea salt and pepper salad. And one day apparently everybody loved it, is what the producer's feedback was to me. And then the people, the crew, they always said, "Oh, we loved it. I was so full. It's so good." Blah blah blah. Right? But apparently they were just kind of either lying in my face or either just saw me, because I have this happen, being plus size. I don't care what nobody says, and I get it mostly from my own people, which is sad. Being plus size and a female, I think they don't think I should be as confident as I am, and they don't like me. They just really never have. I don't know why. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. And also there's people don't want to admit it, you have to do the work, but there's a prejudice towards heavy people, especially black women. There's like a special kind of hate that America has stewed towards us, and it takes unlearning. That's just what it is. Anybody says it's not is out of their mind. So, as you heard, full meals, perfect, full meals. Well, the director called me and told me that we were gonna part ways because um, there were people who weren't getting any food, and I was like, everybody was eating, and I said everybody came through the line 3 times, so I don't know what that's about. And then there was like a panic, unsure about um, the Presto, and someone has nut allergy. I wasn't unsure. I said the Presto had no nuts. Nothing I cooked had nuts. I made the Presto. And it was parsley, olive oil, vinegar, some sea salt, pepper, cilantro. What was it? Pepper. I did cilantro, parsley, some Italian seasoning. So there's no nuts. So whoever created the frenzy on their own. I know who it was. And then she was saying the meals were too light. As you guys just heard what I served, it wasn't light, but they should have been. So we did that. We parted ways, and then you know how an afterthought comes, and then you realize what really happened. I think I took hits for the producer. I don't think the producer relayed what we agreed upon, but I have all the emails. I kept them all, and I'm debating sending them to her, the director, but I might not. I might just, I'm not a grudge person. That's not who I am. And I don't dwell, I just move on. So I think I'm just gonna not send them unless she presses me for them, then maybe I will. But in the emails, she said, oh, the meals were like the director. Well, actually, that's what we agreed upon. That's what the producer told me to do. We said light meals. And at first, even to back it up, when I first applied for the job, I told them what they wanted. They wanted me to do catering and craft services, but catering and craft services are 2 different things. I said I could do both for $8,000, $8,500. I said, but the craft service table, I will set it up in the beginning of the day and leave it because I would have to go back and cook. Excuse me, my sinuses are bad. So she said, well, let me get back to you. Then she got back to me, right? Email back. She's like, well, what can you do? We'll have production just deal with craft services. Can you do breakfast, lunch, and dinner? I said, okay. And I said, well, I could probably do that for about $6,500. I said, but it would be light. It would be a light breakfast buffet, a light lunch buffet, and it'd be light dinner buffets because food's expensive. And also, I think a lot of times students don't realize what catering encompasses. You pay for everything. You pay for the plates, the cups, all this stuff. Everything has to do with catering that's a part of your budget, and plus my fee, right? They want you to work for free. They want you to use the entire budget just on their food, and then you just slave away like a slave and don't pay yourself. We're not going to do that. And I offered 2 options as well. I offered one option where it was $3,500 and then you give me money every day for the food. Or you could do the $6,500 and you pay the fee, one fee, and it's done, and we just do it. I said, light breakfast buffet, light lunch buffet, light dinner. Oh yeah, that's fine. We can do that. We can afford that. And then she leaves and comes back. I said leave, but email. And I get another email later on. She said, well, actually, we just can't afford that either. I said, what would it be for light dinners and light lunches? I said, oh, I don't know. And she's like, our budget is only $5,000 max. So the director's a young black director. So I was like, you know what, I'll do it. I'll do it for the young and female. And, I'm someone who fixes crowns. I don't flick them off. I said, you know what, I'll do it for $5,000. I said, I'll help a young black female director. That's cutting my fee down. And also it's slowing that budget, what I can buy as well. And so I told her, I said, it will be light lunches, a light lunch buffet, box buffet, lunch buffet, and a light dinner. She said, that's fine. And she said, you have all these people, you have a pear allergy. She has someone who doesn't eat beef because of religious reasons. She has someone with nut allergy, and some other stuff. And I was like, so that means that's different. That's special meals that I would have to make. And she said, no. She said, you don't have to do that. She said they could just eat vegetarian on the days that they don't want to eat the normal stuff. But all food's normal. But anyways, I said, okay. I said, that's fine, that's fine. In that case, I won't use any nuts, and I'll just do one meat meal and one vegetarian meal. And I'll be really intentional about it. So when I make baked ziti, turkey or beef baked ziti, I'll make a vegetable baked ziti. When I make turkey chili, I'll make a vegetable chili. So they're still eating the same thing, and it's still collaboratory, and they're still a team. And she was totally fine with that. Totally fine with that. Took a pay cut. I took a pay cut. I did it cheaper than what I did. I came out of my own pocket. I'm not going to say a little bit of what I was trying to help a black young female director. We won't get into that part though. But and all the stuff we agreed on. I said, "You sure this is gonna be okay?" I said, "You check." She said, "It's gonna be fine. That's fine. They can just eat vegetarian." So that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. I was doing what I said I was going to do. I was doing what I agreed upon on my contract, is what I was doing. But apparently that was not okay. And the producer have noticed to call me and explain to me how this and that. And I'm just on the phone, looking at the phone, gobsmacked, like, we agreed upon it. It's in the email. You knew it was going to be light. So why didn't you tell them that it's going to be light? Because this is our budget. Yeah. So the director called me that night because she wanted to talk. She's fine. I mean, she's fine. But she was saying some other things, and I was like, I think I really, hey Ma, I think I really just took hits from the producer. It was wild. Because when I talked to the director, I was like, no. And then I realized she didn't tell the director what we agreed upon. She couldn't have. And I think she was telling her what would make her, make her look good in the director's eyes. She was covering for herself, is what she was doing. So, like I said, I have the emails, so if push comes to shove and the director wants to see them and see what I was saying was the truth, that's what we agreed upon. We didn't agree upon on no fancy whatever heavy dinners, but I also think that they weren't light. I don't think a turkey pepperoni sandwich, cowboy corn, salad, and fruits were bananas, oranges, and grapes, and chips, don't forget that, and chips. And then at the end, you can put your toppings on the sandwich. I didn't want I left just the meat on the sandwich. I didn't want the bread soggy. And at the end, so on toppings, they could fill that sandwich out. Spinach was down there. Tomatoes was down there. Onions was down there. Lettuce was down there. All the condiments you could think of. Oh, and pickles. And they told me that was a light lunch. Yeah. I don't. It would have been. It should have been. That's what I agreed upon, but I stuffed it a little bit more just because I knew people were going to be working like long days. A light lunch would have been a sandwich, an apple, and corn. Nothing else. But I stuffed it. So anyways, so no hard feelings. That's life on the film sets. A lot of time catering and craft services take hits like that because they don't really explain to them. They don't tell their workers that this is what they're doing or what their budget is, and like, you guys, you can't just be eating all day. So, but that's what I agreed upon doing, and that's what I did. So I feel good about it because I did what I said I was going to do. So now that's over. The last part, I had paid for a few extra days. So that's what I did. So I did my part. So yeah, so we decided to say on our dime to just kind of relax and everything. And my birthday is February 21st. We did s'mores in the fire. It was a good time. As I get older, I realize I don't need big parties. I don't like going out to clubs. I know that, so I just like peace. What's important to me is my peace. And anything that breaks my peace, just let it go. I just let it go. This is the last day. So, we had fun. We did s'mores for my birthday at the fire over there. I've already got the video up. We did some walking because we're on a 150-acre farm here in Macomb, Mississippi, Fortenberry Farms. I can say it now because when you see this video, I'll be back at home. And the funny thing is, I live on a farm. if you like, I took a vacation to a farm because when you're on your farm, you have to work. But when you come to someone else's farm, you don't. You get to enjoy their land and their trees and their cabins and their homes and their animals. So, and they have a river that comes through it that you can tube down, but it looked dried up, but also it was too cold, so we didn't do that. It was too cold. We did some other things. We went, my sister and I went walking. We went and visited their Stonehenge. They were inspired by Stonehenge in their travels, so they did like a bush. They used bushes, so it was cute. I'll post that video up. And we took a walking trail to the Little Lost Cabin, but it was tied off, so we couldn't go in and visit it. Kind of sad, because I like rustic kind of things like that. I'm a country girl. And then, what else we did, y'all? We went on another walking trail. We did a lot of walking. It was really good for me. Cause I usually, if you've been here for a little bit, I walk in the morning and afternoon times. And then I go to work. And then my days off, I go to Hot Works. So then we get my walking in here still. And we walked down and visited the Way. I think the trail was called the Way Trail. W-A-Y. And we saw the donkeys. We wanted to feed them, but the feeder box, they have like a donkey like treats in like a plastic hanging on thing. I don't think they've come by and filled it, so it was kind of empty. And there was enough for one, but we didn't want to feed just one. There was 3 of them because the one, I think he's a male, he was like really at us because he wanted those snacks. And I feel like if we weren't able to stretch it and feed all 3 of them, it would cause a problem. Maybe it was just me. I love animals, so I was like, well, I'm not going to feed none of them because it wouldn't be fair. They're well taken care of. They're beautiful. You'll see in the videos. They're nice and plump. But there were no snacks. And usually I think those snacks are hanging there for the guests. But it was empty when we went by. And then we kept walking. We saw the chickens. It was cold, so they came out this little part and looked at us and talked to us. But they wouldn't come all the way out. So, yeah. But all in all, it was great. I'm blessed to be alive, after the medical scare that I had where, I died and they brought me back. I had to relearn how to walk and a little bit talk. My face was like, and it wasn't a stroke. This is what I thought I was having. Yeah. That was a tough time. Yeah. Anyways, I got through it. I'm still here. So, what else I want to say? It might be it. So yeah, we're packing up. We cleaned up the Airbnb last night. Yeah, I'm one of those people. I cleaned the hotel room too. We gotta take out the trash. And then all the thing I gotta do is sleep the bathroom, but I want to wait to sleep the bathroom until everybody finish this morning, so there's no footwork going in there, no foot traffic. And then we're gonna pack up. We're gonna head out, and then we're gonna stop at Golden Corral because we haven't been to Golden Corral forever. Because when we moved back to the farm from where we moved from, we don't have that kind of stuff out there. We don't have it. Like we don't have. Anyways, so we're gonna stop there and have lunch, and then we're gonna head home and see my cat Max, my outdoor barn cat. I miss Max. Hopefully he's still around. He's very independent. He's an outdoor cat. If he wants to leave, he leaves. If he comes back, he comes back. But I bought an electric feeder for him. So like every day at 7:30 a.m. and at my allergies are so bad. And at 4:45 it drops food out to feed them. So and then my uncle also lives up there. It's family land. So he went and saw him and gave him a treat, gave him some wet food. Because usually I feed him wet food because he's spoiled. But obviously wet food can't go in an automatic feeder. So when I go away for trips and stuff, I put that outside for him to make sure he has food when I'm gone. So, yeah. So, I'm about to go. About to get packed up. About to get fully dressed. I have my pajamas still on. And so, I'm going to go set. So, it was fine. Like I said, I did what I said I was going to do. What we and that producer agreed upon. She just didn't relay it back to them. So, instead of her taking the hits, agreeing upon, and saying this is what was done, she just let me take all the hits. I'm pretty tough, so that's fine. Anyways, and I also now know that I probably will not do catering for student films anymore. Or either I won't do catering, I'll CC the director on everything we're talking about. There's always a lesson learned in things. That way they can see it That way on set, they come to me and say, oh, they're like, no, you saw what we agreed upon. No. So yeah, anyways, I hope everybody has a blessed day, a good day, a wonderful day, and that I will talk to you guys later.